I'm well aware that I am a little teensy bit late making this video, but I recently went to go and see Deadpool and the Wolverine. And in this video I'm going to be first giving a kind of spoiler-free review, and then later on in the video, if you love them juicy spoilers, then I'll be getting into that nitty-gritty. So, Deadpool and the Wolverine, starring, of course, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, more like Huge Jacked Man, sees our Merc with the mouth over here finally get a shot in the MCU. So Pooley Dead over here gets approached by the TVA, who basically tells him, your universe is going to die because your anchor being, which essentially I guess is kind of like this thing where there's this one most important character of an entire universe, and if that one big important character dies, everyone else is just fucked, and that being was our previous iteration of Wolverine. So Deadpool's kinda screwed. He jumps around all over the multiverse trying to find a Wolverine that is capable of being the new anchor being of this universe. And thus he ends up finding this version of Wolverine, who basically says that he is actually the worst Wolverine possible. The two of them, however, end up having run-ins with the TVA because there's a new evil dude behind the scenes who's trying to puppeteer some stuff, and he's being a very naughty boy. And thus Deadpool and Wolverine get sent to a place called The Void, the place which lives deep inside my cold dead heart. Here lots of wild things happen, cameos, there's all these interesting things happening. I'll get into that later. So now Deadpool and Wolverine have to find their way out of this void in order to get back to Deadpool's universe and try and save it from annihilation. The only problem is, there's a certain bald person who is trying to put a stop to Deadpool and Wolverine's plans of escaping, and their name is Cassandra Nova. It's Cassandra Nova. It's actually Professor X's sister. She had a really good performance in this. I did really like her as this character, but it just felt a little bit random. But I gotta say, while we're on performances, as usual, Ryan Reynolds is on fire doing his usual Deadpool goofiness, and Hugh Jackman is mostly good in this, but I don't know. I did still really like him in this. I didn't think it was his best performance, but it was still phenomenal to see him back nonetheless, so I didn't really care. But one problem that I do have is the colour. This film feels lifeless at times. It feels bleak and oppressive at times. I know they're supposed to be in this giant void, but because they spend like the majority of the movie in the void, it's just this plain, boring wasteland. It's like they just stepped foot into Borderlands. And I mean the first game, the one that didn't have any colour to it for the most part. But overall, I think that's the only problem that I could really think of that I had with this movie. I had an absolute goddamn blast with this movie. I was very anxious that they were gonna neuter Wade Wilson, that they were just gonna chop off his pee-pee and not let him be himself, and that they would tone him down to go along with the rest of the MCU, where apparently they're rarely ever allowed to swear. But no, that's not what happened. There's still a lot of very foul-mouthed things said in this movie, not just by Deadpool either. Hugh Jackman gets his opportunity to say some absolutely absurd stuff, and it is phenomenal. Is this going to revive the MCU? Probably not. Is it worth going seeing? Yes, it is. God damn, if you love Deadpool, go and check this out. If you like the first two movies, you'll have a great time with this one. If you don't like Deadpool, if maybe you're not a fan of the brash and crass kind of humour, then you probably won't like this either, because it's basically more of that, but with less colour apparently. So go and check it out. I had such a goddamn fun as hell time with this film. I came out of that cinema with a big smile on my face, tears in my eyes because I've been laughing so much. I was like, oh my god, it's so fun! Woo! But now then, I'm gonna give a little warning just before I get into things. This part of the video will be the spoiler section, where I talk about all the spoilers and all of the goodness in this film. So if you don't want to see that, if you don't want to know anything about it, if you haven't seen the film yet or whatever, then here's where you'll want to stop the video. Just want to let you know. Alright? Alright, that's enough. That's good enough. Oh my fucking god, how the hell was Blade in this movie? What? Chris Evans returning as Johnny Storm? Like, what? Okay, I'll say it right now. I had this spoiled for me the day before I got to see the fucking movie, but it was still hilarious nonetheless, especially because as someone who knew this was coming, I was like looking around in the theatre like, oh guys, you're not gonna expect this shit, oh my god. And it was actually really awesome to see Sabretooth again. I felt really hit in my childhood nostalgia seeing Sabretooth back on screen again. From the old X-Men movies, I was mind blown by this, even though they literally showed a bunch of this stuff in the trailers. Which also, actually, I need to say this, okay? Can trailers please stop fucking spoiling things? Why can't we have fun in the movies? Why can't we just watch them for ourselves? I guess it's probably because they're doing it to make people go, oh my god, they're in this film, I'm gonna buy a ticket and go and see the movie, but it's still so frustrating. The fight scenes between Deadpool and Wolverine was so fucking fun. Deadpool, I think at one point turns to the screen and he's just like, you're gonna want to change your pants because this is gonna be really good. And yes, he was right. It was really fucking good. Like, oh my god. Especially that second one in the car. That car scene was just so fun and just... Ah! It's Elektra? Didn't have that one on my bingo card for 2024. And then fucking Blade? Not even Mahershala Ali's new Blade, it was Wesley Snipes. Like, what is this timeline that we are in? But then another character comes in that I did not expect. Channing Tatum as Gambit, who has seemingly overtaken the internet.
Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
And then we get to big kind of finale before the finale, the pre-finale, the pre-nale, and the way this was set up was actually pretty good because Wolverine's just like, I'm pretty sure you guys are just not making it out of this alive. And I got really nervous because I thought, killing off Gambit, it would be cool to see him come back again at some point, so that kind of would feel like a waste. But if they kill off X-23, she did not go through all of that shit in Logan just to die here as a secondary character. Come on now. And she didn't. And I could breathe a sigh of relief. Deadpool call. The cowl. Oh! Comically accurate Wolverine made me fucking laugh. I filled my pants for the tan suit. And then Deadpool walks up to an absolutely ripped version of Wolverine. And it's Henry Cavill. Oh, I'm sorry, I just need a change of pants. I had such a great goddamn time with this film. Lots of comedy, lots of silly things going on. So yes, those are my thoughts on Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine. It's so hot in here right now, my brain is starting to melt. But what did you think of Deadpool and the Wolverine? Let me know in the comment section down below. But thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.